In the late 1920s, the worldwide economic crisis had taken a turn for the worse. In the midst of the widespread public fear and panic, an aspiring politician rose to power in Germany. By promising to increase German power and improve the economy, Adolf Hitler became the Supreme Chancellor of Germany in 1933. (1929) The stock market crashes in New York. Around the world, economic crisis ensues, spreading shockwaves of public fear and panic. Riding this wave of fear in Germany, Adolf Hitler promises to increase German power and improve the economy, becoming Supreme Chancellor by 1933. Declaring Gleichschaltung, a Nazi empire that dominated all aspects of society, the Nazis harnessed all aspects of propaganda to influence the German public. And in film, they turned emphatically to one young woman, Leni Riefenstahl.
In an age when both the film industry and the Nazi political party were rising in popularity, German filmmaker Leni Riefenstahl's revolutionary use of innovative angles and slow-motion playback captured the attention of audiences and set new standards in documentary filmmaking. After the war, Riefenstahl's work received negative reactions due to her associations with Hitler and the Nazi Party. However, her revolutionary techniques reformed both fictitious and documentary filmmaking, as Riefenstahl's technique of promoting a mood, belief, or feeling through film influenced directors for the remainder of the 20th century.
By the turn of the 20th century, the film industry was beginning to take off. The advent of sound and color contributed to this rapid growth of the art, which in turn increased to the popularity tremendously. In the United States, Hollywood became the leading film production agency, rivaled only by its German counterpart, Babelsberg Studios. As the Nazi Party rose to power, Hitler realized the influence film could have on the citizens of Germany. For this reason, he enlisted a young German actress and film producer, Leni Riefenstahl, to work for the Nazi Party. Riefenstahl had a background in dancing, and in 1932 produced and directed the critically acclaimed Das Blue Licht, a film which caught the attention of Hitler and the Nazi Party. Hitler recognized Riefenstahl's artistic prowess and enlisted her to document his 1934 Nuremberg rallies. Riefenstahl created Triumph of the Will, which focused on Hitler, his political powers, and the supremacy of the German people. Triumph of the Will was internationally recognized as an artistic masterpiece through Riefenstahl's unique filming techniques, consisting of unusual camera angles and shadowy images. Shortly after, Riefenstahl was hired yet again by Hitler, this time to document the 1936 Berlin Olympics. Riefenstahl yet again displayed her artistic capabilities and crafted the 1938 masterpiece Olympia, known as one of the most beautiful documentaries of all time. Olympia not only utilized new and unheard-of techniques, such as slow-motion playback and innovative camera angles, but also elevated the African-American athlete Jesse Owens to international status.
8 Meter weg!
Through both Triumph of the Will and Olympia, the effect of Riefenstahl's work can be seen on an international level, progressing from the mid-20th century to modern day.
Leni Riefenstahl's revolutionary impact can be seen on multiple levels. She filmed from various new angles in order to emphasize an idea. Just some of these innovative filming angles include using numerous cameras to shoot from below and above, filming while on roller skates, and taking underwater shots.
Perhaps the most important or famous scene from Triumph of the Will is in fact the very opening scene, where you have, for the first time, filming from an aircraft. 2 planes were used, one that was carrying Hitler, the other carrying Riefenstahl, filming the descent of Hitler, appearing that he was some mythical, godlike figure descending from Valhalla, here to save the German people, here to bring about a new Germany.
Through these revolutionary techniques, Riefenstahl was able to reach out to her audience and claim their attention. Also, the cameras are placed below Hitler so the audience perceives him as a rising figure who is above mankind. In these ways, Riefenstahl is able to utilize her revolutionary techniques as a medium to influence a mood or a belief and promote a figure or ideal.
The reaction to Riefenstahl's work is varied and complex. Initially, Riefenstahl garnered international support and acclaim for her work. Riefenstahl received positive reactions worldwide, but was especially praised in Germany. German critics perceived her work as the greatest film tribute to Germany and the Aryan race, and she has been cited as one of the major factors for Hitler's ascent to power.
People have often labeled Riefenstahl's Triumph of the Will as the reason that Hitler was named Time Life's Man of the Year in 1934. It was the first time in many respects that people on the international community were able to see Hitler and what the Nazis meant as a political movement.
However, after the war, Riefenstahl and her work were blacklisted and she was viewed as a Nazi conspirator. The cause of this domestic shunning is still greatly debated, either because of her complex and mysterious relationship with Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party, or because she was a woman in a male-dominated industry. Riefenstahl was banned from directing or producing films post-war, in contrast to Viet Harlan, a director who produced the anti-Semitic Jude Seuss and was allowed to return to filmmaking after the war. Filmmakers in the mid-20th century refused to give Riefenstahl credit for her revolutionary techniques or her effect on the growing film industry. Because of her complex relationship with Hitler and the Nazi Party, and her gender, the work of Leni Riefenstahl suffered negative reaction throughout most of the 20th century.
Despite her political controversy, Leni Riefenstahl's films nevertheless reformed worldwide documentary filmmaking. Throughout the 20th century, propaganda filmmakers utilized her techniques in their films in order to captivate audiences.
You could certainly see her effects with respect to how politicians of the period, immediately after the post-war especially, utilized these same techniques.
Ken Burns, a popular documentarian, is well known for his filming technique in which the camera pans over an image and zooms in on a specific point. Burns uses this in order to draw in the audience and focus their attention on an object. This technique, commonly known as the Ken Burns effect, has often been linked to the camera work of Riefenstahl. Star Wars, and Tron Legacy are some well-known fictitious films which have used famous techniques from Riefenstahl's work. Riefenstahl's idea of using new and unusual camera angles has been used throughout the 20th century and even in modern film. Quentin Tarantino is a famous director who frequently cites Riefenstahl. Tarantino's famous trunk shot can be seen in many of his films, a technique which stemmed from Riefenstahl's work.
I'm a huge fan of Leni Riefenstahl's talent. Her greatest defense is Olympia. One of the things that's so touching, especially in retrospect, when you look at Olympia, is to see all these young men and women all over the world competing and knowing that in just 4 years' time they would be killing each other. But at this moment it wasn't happening.
The work of Leni Riefenstahl has reformed the promotions and intentions of themes, moods, and beliefs in film.
Leni Riefenstahl utilized new and unheard-of techniques such as slow-motion playback and shooting from unusual camera angles in her films to capture the audience. Despite her glorious achievements, with the collapse of the Nazi Empire in 1945, Riefenstahl's questionable social life caused negative reaction in the film community. However, Riefenstahl's work has affected the film industry in a multitude of ways from the mid-20th century to the modern day.